This is your 10th DWI. It's not your 5th. It's not your 8th. It's the 10th.
I'm sorry, I'm very nervous today. I'm asking you, please do not send me back to prison. I am definitely headed in the right direction.
Your last sentence was for 15 years in prison. The one before that was for 10. Another 10 year back in 2009. I mean, this goes back to the 90s. The fact is, we're just lucky that you haven't killed someone in our community. I just can't do it. I'm going to sentence you to a term of.
The defendant is in court today for sentencing after her 10th DUI offense, a case history that stretches back decades. Despite multiple arrests, she's once again asking the court to avoid prison, citing past trauma and personal struggles. While those factors matter, the courtroom tension makes it clear she may be out of second chances. After this many offenses, the question becomes public safety. Many are left wondering how she's still legally able to drive at all. Now the court must decide whether continued treatment is enough, or if incarceration is the only remaining option.
Ma'am, are you Catherine Welch?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Welch is here with her attorney, Mr. Gertz. State's attorney is present. Ms. Welch was previously in court, entered a plea of guilty to driving while intoxicated third or more, as well as a prior offense, which made it a second-degree felony offense. There was no agreement with regard to punishment. I have received the pre-sentence report, and has everyone had an opportunity to review that report? Okay, is everyone ready to proceed with sentencing then?
Yes, Judge.
Yes. All right, then, argument.
Sometimes it's easy to look at one side of the ledger, the rap sheet or the criminal history, and think that defines this person. What I have been fortunate enough to do is to really dig down and get to understand her as a human, and see that all the progress she's made, all the effort she's made, and see what she's done well and all of the problems that she's been addressing well. She's obviously very anxious about this day, but we've been looking forward to this day as well, to be able to present that. And I want to go down on the bottom of page 2, address what I was talking about in the CSI. So that I'm not saying that this wasn't the words that came out of her mouth, but when she was asked by one of the examiners in the probation report, she felt she needed treatment. She said she didn't feel like she needed treatment. She wasn't opposed either. I want to clarify what we mean by that. And I say this here, but what she would say, I think, is she did 90 days of detox rehab related treatment, has continued aftercare, has continued mental health care. But in terms of going to a program that is specifically targeted at people who are currently using or currently intoxicated, I think she thought that wasn't the direction that would be ideal. She will do whatever you want her to do, but I wanted to explain what that comment means. Additionally, we've been in contact with her current parole officer. They are willing to keep her on parole instead of revoking her, depending on what the court does here. And so that was encouraging as well. I think we had the same kinds of conversations with them about her recovery and about her efforts. And so I think that was an encouraging sign from them. And then finally, Judge, you see, we didn't want to focus too much on support from the community because, again, this isn't just a run-of-the-mill case. This is a different focus. But she is married. She has a family. She recognizes the impact that all of this has had on her family and her relationships, the strain it has put on her husband, both financially and also emotionally. And she accepts responsibility for that.
Anything else?
Would you like to say something, Judge?
Your Honor, I just want to say that the past was fueled by drugs and alcohol. I take complete responsibility for that. I did not know from very young when things happened in my life that it could have been, some of it could have been treated and stopped earlier if I had gotten, help for my mental health. That, after I received this DWI, that helped me get myself to a place that I could go into a treatment program and deal with some of those past traumas. In the past, I didn't. I medicated and drank to just forget about the pain, just numb myself out. I didn't know how else to deal with that until when I got on my mental health meds, and I have bipolar, I have PTSD, and my mind back then was very chaotic. And I just want to say, after I had my mental health meds, I was able to go through treatment at Santa Maria in Houston, and that place really saved my life. I did extensive 90-day treatment with trauma counselors. It was a trauma-informed community there. And also, when I completed that, I worked an outpatient program, but I still lived on their facility. I went to the sex trafficking and recovery program, and I was in that for about 8 months, where I got the state paid for the counseling for trauma still. And I just worked really hard in that. I got a job while I was in there. And then once that program was over, I moved to a sober living facility in Oxford House in Spring, and I worked there. And so I felt like I was strong enough to come home and do what I needed to do. And I was in the complete program for right out of a year. And I'm sorry, I'm very nervous today. And I know that my past record is, like Ryan said, atrocious.
She doesn't come across as the most hostile defendant the court has ever seen, but her record tells a very different story. 10 DUI charges don't happen by coincidence. At this point, it's a clear pattern that should have been addressed much earlier. That's what makes this case so frustrating to watch. Early leniency in DUI cases often gives people the impression that the consequences won't ever fully catch up to them. Repeated probation and second chances can send the wrong message, and this case highlights where the system may have fallen short. Personal struggles matter, but they don't justify repeatedly putting others at risk.
You know, the things that I had to deal with within myself from when I was a little girl, those are things that you don't go to prison, even in their programs there, that you don't talk about. It's just, you just don't. And I'm asking you, please do not send me back to prison. I want to move forward. I have moved forward in my life, and this year that I've been in jail has given me more time to think and know that I am definitely headed in the right direction. I have a sponsor. I attend AA at home. I had moved on with my life as far as I could with my sobriety. I mean, I knew this charge was out there. And I think I made some really good choices with my Mid-County AA friends. They've helped me a lot, and I am open to anything. I will abide by all the rules and do anything that's asked of me. And I think, I know now that I'm responsible and capable of taking care of my business and my life.
Thank you. So, Ms. Welch, Ms. Malfino probably said it yet best, and I get this often, and they don't envy my position, and this is the worst part of my job. But I worked hard to get here, and it's my job. Part of my job, it's several things, and it's to look at, obviously defendants and giving chances and things like that, but it also is about making our community safe. And I have to look back. This is your 10th DWI. It's not your 5th. It's not your 8th. It's the 10th. And while I understand the trauma that you went through, that you've been to SAFE 3 times. You've been given opportunities on probation where they were revoked. You've had opportunities while you were on parole to do what you have done now. And while I appreciate what you've done, and I think that's great, and my goal isn't to, to stop any improvement, but I can't, in my opinion, in good faith, go home tonight, look myself in the mirror and say I gave somebody on their 10th DWI, that your last sentence was for 15 years in prison. The one before that was for 10. The one before that, you've gone to another 10 year, back in 09. I mean, this goes back to the 90s. You got a 10-year sentence in 2011. While you're on parole for that one, you get another one, so they give you 15 years, and you get out and you're on parole and you do it again. The fact is, we're just lucky that you haven't killed someone in our community 9 times over, being given opportunities. I just can't do it. I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. I'm going to find and your plea of true to the prior offense. I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of driving while intoxicated. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 18 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. You're going to be handed a trial court certification that shows this was not, well, I guess there was an agreement because the waiver of the enhancement, which could have been a 25 to life, as Mr. Gertz said. So I'm going to hand you the certification that shows this was an agreement. You've waived your right to appeal. I'm also handing you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession, because of the judgment entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. You should read the written admonishment I provide you. If you have any questions about that, you can talk to Mr. Gertz. And Ms. Welch, I take no pleasure in this. This is extremely difficult for me. I understand to some extent addiction, and I understand that you are on a better path. However, there have been plenty of opportunities in the past where you were on a better path and you got back out and you got back on our roads again. And so good luck to you, ma'am. Thank you, Mr. Gertz and Ms. Malfino. Court will be adjourned.
Given the history of this case, the sentence felt unavoidable. The judge acknowledged that she had shown remorse before, but her actions kept repeating the same pattern. At a certain point, words stop carrying weight, and only behavior matters. 10 DUI charges make that reality impossible to ignore. While an 18-year sentence may sound severe at first, the judge focused on the risk to public safety and the number of chances already given. From that perspective, the decision makes sense. It's never easy to deliver a sentence like this, but as the judge noted, it's part of the responsibility that comes with the role. What do you think? Was 18 years fair, or would you have gone lighter? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.